Hello, this is Jadero, and I am going to show you how to take this bracelet here, which is the Lush Foliage bracelet. This was designed by Susan HB, or on Instagram as Crazy Just Might Work. I had already done a tutorial on how to create this bracelet. It is wonderful, but as I always end up doing, I had found a way to add bling to it, and I am just absolutely in awe over this bracelet. I think it came out wonderful. It is extremely tightly woven bracelet, and it's like dude bling. So I would love to dedicate this bracelet to Rob at Justinstoys. Rob was one of the first loomers that taught me how to loom, and all of his designs are always done with such great taste. They're always neat, and they're just done perfectly. And so when I got done with this bracelet, it really made me think of him, that hopefully kind of like I did him proud, because you know it's just, I don't know, probably one of my best neatest design bracelets as far as adding bling. So Rob, this one's for you, buddy. Thank you for all of your tutorials and your talent, and making such a big difference in the loom world. We really do appreciate you. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our colors. So just to give you a quick overview here, the only thing that I did differently is I took these outside bands here, which in the tutorial you'll have to watch first, because I'm not going to explain how to make this bracelet. I'm just going to show you how to add the jump rings. We just are going to replace these outside bands with these jump rings. Okay, that is it. It is the exact same design looping process. It's a hook only design, so it's the exact same process as this bracelet, just omitting a band and adding the jump ring. That's it. It's super simple. So I used the limited edition bands for this bracelet, which I think work perfectly. I don't know how this would come out if we use a different type of band. And the jump rings are a thick gauge 10 millimeter. Okay, that's important. I think if you went any bigger as a 12 gauge, it would not look as neat. If you went any smaller, I don't know if you'd be able to get it over your hook. So in my opinion, the 10 gauge, or it's a thick gauge, see these are thick jump rings, worked perfectly for this. So let's begin. All you're going to need is your hook, and you're going to need your jump rings, and you're going to need your bands. So I'm going to go ahead with the same exact colors that I used in the first one, which is these limited edition Rainbow Loom fabulous bands, and you're going to need a C-clip. So as I mentioned, you're going to need to watch the Lush Foliage tutorial that I had done in order to understand the whole hooking process, as I'm just going to go ahead and just jump right into the bracelet. So we're going to make a figure 8 on our hook, add this band, and bring this back upon our hook like that. So there's our capping band hanging down. So we're going to take one band and our jump ring. Okay, we want to take this band and we want to squeeze it excuse me, and all we're going to do is we're going to put this band inside of this jump ring, kind of make it right in the middle, And then we're going to take both ends up like this, then stick your hook into this band. So in the original design, we would have this. We would have one band on our hook, and then we would have one band hanging down. So the band that you have hanging down is always your perimeter band. That's the band that is on this outside. Okay, so you always want to have your jump ring hanging down here. So I'm just going to tug on my jump ring so it stays in place. And just to begin this, we're only going to take one band, bring it over our hook, and then we're going to take our jump ring and put that back up on top, just like that. Okay, so you will have your long end, you will have two bands there in the middle, and then your jump ring on the end. So we're going to take this and we're going to carefully, I'm going to turn my hook upside down, and I'm going to take it out because we need to flip this design. Or if you have a two-sided hook, you can just turn your hook over. Okay, so we're only going to be able to see this as the long end in the beginning here, because from now on we're going to have these jump rings on the outside, so we'll have to pay attention on flipping. So we're going to do the same thing. Kind of stick this back so it doesn't come off your hook. You're going to take your band, pinch it, take your 10mm jump ring, stick this through. So you have it like this, and then stick both ends on your hook like that. So your jump ring is hanging down. You're going to hold that. Okay, now this is how it normally looks in the original design, but this would be a band. So we take the first three bands and we pull it over our hook. So we're pulling only the bands, and then we're leaving our jump ring over here. So we push that in, then we take the jump ring on the bottom and place it back up on our hook. So this kind of maybe puts it into perspective as well when I say that the band that's hanging down is your perimeter, okay, because they are on the outside. So now the tricky part is you have to remember to flip your bracelet. The indicator on the original design was we had this band that would hang down on the left, always against our hook. That was our indicator that we knew to flip it. So when I pull on this, you can slightly see that this band comes down a little bit further than the right, but it's not a big, showpiece to be like, oh yeah, I have to flip it. You have to remember, once you put this jump ring back up, you have to remember to flip it. So that's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to take this off my hook carefully. And I'm going to flip it around. So I have a jump ring on the outside. If I can show you. I have two bands in the middle. And I have this jump ring on this side here. Okay. So we do this all over again. We take our band, we pinch it, add our jump ring on into the middle, grab the jump ring, then we're going to stick one side over the jump ring, grab the other side of the band, secure it on our hook, grab our jump ring, hold on to it, and now since we have two jump rings on our hook, it is always the first three, no matter if it's a jump ring or a band, always the first three we're pulling over. So grab your jump ring, pull that over, and this one is this is a very snug bracelet, so you kind of maybe pull down on what you have already, maybe twist it underneath, anything you can do just to get it underneath those two bands on our hook, and slide it down, and then the jump ring that we are holding on to goes back up on our hook. That's what it should look like so far. Okay, so whatever side that you start on, you're going to have more jump rings and more bands. So that's another kind of an indicator you know it's time to flip, because now we need to add the second one onto this side. So just carefully, I'm going to turn my hook upside down and take this out and flip this around. And we'll do it again. It's really easy. Nothing to it, because it's the design. As long as you've got the design down, adding these jump rings is no big deal. It's just the tension in the bracelet. It's really tight compared to having your bands on the outside. So you figure all the elasticity that you get from having your bands on the outside, you lose. So it's only half as tight. So that was number one. Take it underneath these two existing on our hook. Leave the last one, which is the jump ring, on. Slide it down, put this back up. Okay, I'm going to do one more with you because I think it's pretty straightforward. Just remember, so you can kind of tell, you really can't even tell that you need to flip it. You just have to know after you're done putting that jump ring up just to flip it. So we'll take our hook out and flip this around. Uh-oh. Like I said, it's tight. This one needs to go over that one there. Make sure they're straight. And there we go. So this takes a ton of jump rings, okay, so it can be pretty pricey. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it takes 60. I believe that is how many I counted on here, okay? And because it's so tightly woven, it's way more adding than it is whenever you are just creating this one here. I believe this one takes 40. I'm not sure. I'd have to count it, but because you have all of this elasticity in this bracelet, the whole thing stretches. You don't need as many bands as opposed to jump rings, because you can stretch it and it goes around your wrist. This you have no pull with. This jump ring has no elasticity in it, so you're going to add almost double the amount on the outside to make up for the stretchiness of the original design. So I will warn you, or give you a heads up, that you will need a ton of these jump rings, but it's well worth it. I will show you quickly how to close this up, which it's basically the same as the original. So technically I would say, hey, I'll be back in a minute with my finished bracelet, but we've already done that design. So what I'm going to do is, this is how you're going to end up with. You're going to have jump rings on the ends and your two bands in the middle. you're just going to take one more band and slide everything on top of it. And place it back up on your hook. So that is how you will close up your bracelet, the exact same as the original design. There is nothing that I did to the design except omit one band and replace it with a jump ring. So like I said, make sure you watch that tutorial. It is a crazy awesome design by Susan HB. Please make sure you click on her link below and subscribe to her YouTube channel and to her account on Instagram, because it is amazing. She comes up with a ton of hook-only designs, and I mean, she's just a great loomer. So there you have it. There is your finished bracelet. I hope that you enjoyed this short tutorial. And I am so, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So make sure that on Instagram you hashtag the Lush Foliage bracelet along with Crazy Just Might Work and Chidero_T, because we are very excited to see what the variations are that you guys come up with. So I hope I've inspired you to bling. Just change up your bracelet. If I have, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see future tutorials and ones with adding bling as well, please subscribe to my channel. Check me out on Instagram, and until next time, let's bling it.